All righty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's like, 10:31 in Tokyo now, where the G7 are having their evening cocktails, I'd imagine, at this point. And here in the States, it is, it's Friday. Oh, I saw the email. Doc, excellent. Cool. Reese, cool. All right. What else we got going? Thank you very much. Let's see. From there, I hear my voice, so this is good. We're getting a good broadcast this morning. What else can I say about anything else out there? I would say is, you see the dollar, J4X is still showing a lot of strength in here. It's starting to curve, though. You can see the yellow line is at 87. And the green is at 84, so it's starting to back off. It's giving you that warning that there's pressure on it. And over here on Chicago Quant, the same index, you can see it's curved down. It's green also with a little dot there, but it is down. And our math is turning down just like the math is turning down right here of these two. And the only difference, not any difference, the only other thing that say, not difference, but the only thing to say is the weekly looks very firm. They've been reaching for the dollar, selling other pairs trades around. It's been a little surprising, but I guess in these times with the strangest of things that we keep on seeing, it's not far-fetched. It's not like, oh, this is a surprise. It's just that I'm always usually leaning into the idea that they want to sell dollars more than want to buy dollars. Matho! Do you see that natural gas? Zoom to the moon! Mountain West, hey, TFIF, yeah, thanks, Friday, it's Friday, yes, I hear you, yes, indeed, so it should be TD, thank today, it's Friday, or whatever, it's Friday, hooray, I'll be able to farm more, I'm looking forward to it, so. And what else can we say? Should be TGIF. Yeah. Either way, it's Friday. Friday, fun day. All right. So yeah, they're still buying dollars on some level, but obviously you can see they are down from yesterday. You can see that right there on Chicago Quant, and you can see it right there. Hey, Robin, how you making out with the new system? Isn't that great or what? Is that like super duper duper? Super duper 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 duper? It's like super duper 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 duper. And let's see what else. GMMW. Good morning. Let's see. Mountain says, Doc, you got your Wish dollar selling off today? Yeah, they're pushing it down. But it's in a weekly buy. It's in a daily buy. I don't know how well they're going to be able to. I'd be like shaking my head if they go to 105. But then I see a lot of desperation around the planet when it comes to, like in Tokyo, they've got the Nikkei up to 30,000 now. It's a little less than 25% away from all-time highs. That all-time high I think was in 1993. So let's see. Done this job, there should be no further until the Senate passes. Yeah, exactly. And so that's exactly, and that's what it really comes down to. It's kind of like, stumbling around. I saw Frankfurt this morning. The DAX is something less than like 2% away or 1% away from all-time highs. It's very close. Like all-time highs is like 16,500 or something like that, and it's trading at 16,200. So it's really close. You watch the hourly charts, okay? You got your Wish dollars selling off today. I don't know if it's a wish. It just seems to be a trend. Usually they're trying to sell dollars. They're telling us how the media and the world is trying to tell us over and over and over again where the dollar is just over, needs to be knocked down. So I just automatically assume that they're going to try to do that. Our math keeps us very safe. We don't do stupid things like listen to the media, thank goodness, because of it. Uh, so that's pretty much where it stands. So it's not much as a wish. It's just a like a like I got wishes. There's other wishes, things that I would define as a wish. The dollar going down is not a wish. It just seems like it's a natural tendency. It's so overvalued that it needs to back off. That's about it. There. That's really what it comes down to. Now, wish. I could say it, but this is a family rated webinar. So anyhow, there's lots of wishes out there I could use, but I wouldn't think about selling the dollar down as a wish. But the good point though, good point. CAD and yen selling off like crazy. Let's see. Let's go over to the. Let's go to Canadian because I saw oil up, so that would make sense. As it's going down against the dollar. Let's go over to that. That would be the dollar CAD we watch right there. Yeah, so it's moving down against the dollar today. I don't know about crazy, but I guess you could say it's been crazy since March. It was up in the 138s. Now it's in the 134s. So yeah, I guess you could say it's been sliding down nicely. And at the same time, we can do this. We can jump around and go like this. Over on not that one. Let's move that over to there. There. Put that right there, and let's take a look at oil and see if it looks like the same thing. Pretty much oil has been going down over that same right there. There's March, right? So it peaks out in the early April and slides down, which is the natural tendency for Canadian to normally go up. And then we go back to Canadian, and you can see Canadian, had a nice little run there in the middle of the April, just like the way oil topped out and then backed off again, and is trying to move back up again. So it's kind of stalled against the dollar, I guess you could say. The Canadian itself, let's see, where is it? Let's see if we can show more of it. Right, there we are. So overall, it's been in this big, long, choppy range of the high 38s and the low 32s for like the last 7 months, something like that. How's that? Does that make sense there? On the hourly. Oh, okay. Yeah, intraday. Yeah, I bet there's some good action in there because I see a lot of products making sharp moves this morning. And then let's take a look at yen real quick, too. There's the yen. So, yeah, it is yen. Yen's up through the 38s again. So, no, that would make sense. Do you want me to I can put an hourly up for both of those. Let's go over to that. Let's see, right here. Let's see, we'll use this one. Make a copy of that. Copy window. Paste window. There we are. Now let's put an hourly in there for like Canadian and so forth. So 1 hour. How about like something like 9 days back? And let's change the product. That would be USD CAD right there. Let's see what that looks like in our math. That'll be entertaining. I think it's a sip of tea. There you go. Yeah, this volume thing has not been panning out. That person came on and talked about the volume. It's okay, but it's not a leading indicator, that's for sure. You can see here, there's the hourly. They took it up to 135.17, I guess almost 18. And then we went into a sell right here. See it right there. There's the sell. And it's been in the sell. Did that get it into buy? Plus, no, it's still in the sell. So it went into the sell here. Where's those lines? Went into the sell right there. And it's still in the sell. And then where's the buy at? There's the buy. Yeah, so that was the buy. And then you can see like right here is a buy right there. after that nice move up. There's the sell right from up in here. And you get all that nice win out of that. And then it gets into a buy right here. And that's why good money management is important. You get into a sell signal here. And, you drop all the way down to there. And if you don't take a profit out of that, you really got a problem, Let's see. When I say CAD, I don't mean dollar CAD. I'm talking about the CAD currency in general. I guess we unfortunately our media does not really show us what's going on around our own continent. Though it's Mexico and Canada. Canada. I want to say Canada. Canada. It's a shame because there's so much information. Like even when employment numbers come out in Canada or GDP, gross domestic product, any of that stuff, they don't announce it here in the States. You would think they would talk about it, what's going on in both Mexico and Canada. I'm always disappointed about that. And then Mountain says, the yen does not equal dollar yen. The yen refers to the yen currency in general, since dollar and yen are both selling off. The pair dollar yen won't be moving much. Right. Looking at it through other currencies, I agree with you. Matter of fact, what's the CAD? Let's see what the hourly CAD currency, Canadian yen look like. Let's see what that looks like. There it is. Okay, so CAD, cash, Forex, all right, cash, add, see every day, look up. There we are. There it is right there. Here's an interesting one. Look at that, the way it's been climbing up from the par to 102.67. That's interesting. Went into the buy, there was the first buy right there. And it stayed in that buy all the way up until we can move this over to here like that. And went into a sell there off of that one. And then it stayed in the sell until there, and it went back into the buy again right there. Flipped right back into a sell again. It was a real whip. Look at that right there. And then back into the, and then cancel that. Back into the buy right there. And then it was all the way up to this point here. There was a sell. And then right back into the buy again. And then look at that. Just zoom up again. And winners each buy look pretty good. There's the sell there. Remember, it takes the green, the white line, and the blue, the two histograms and the white to go into a direction. All three of them. And there's your sell. And then there's your buy again. And then it goes right into buy. It does that whipsaw again. That's at midnight our time. They're always sloppy. And then there's a sell there. And there is the buy from that right there. So that was pretty cool. Whatever you give up there, you make up in there. But I never trade in that hour zone anyway. And then we are now in a buy right there. From that was a buy there. And then it goes back into the sell there. How's that? That's kind of neat, huh? CAD yen isn't moving much either because they are both selling off today. It looks pretty good though, I mean, it put you in the buy at where to put you in the buy? Put you in the buy at 102.56.8. Okay, and the high now is 102.71. 52 to 71. That's not too bad. 18, 19 ticks. Okay. So, that is the answer to the whole thing right there. Um, Anything else you want to see on an hourly basis through our math? Kind of neat. Yeah. What else can we say? All right, let's go back to the currencies then. If not, I mean the other currencies like a dailies and so forth. But if you want to see anything again on an hourly basis, let me know and we'll put it up there. Okay, we'll keep that in that particular folder. Let's see where we at. So let's take a look at the euro. There's the euro this morning. Now it's popping up against the dollar. It's been an interesting slide. It looks like with no problem it's going to be in a weekly sell with no problem whatsoever. So we're going to go into another week with a weekly sell. Oh, the Swissy is dropping quite fast. Oh, I'll put that on an hourly. Let's go back to that. Dollar Swiss. I always expect more performance out of the Swiss too. And that's why we were pretty comfortable when it was up around 101. As soon as we went into a sell, I was like, oh yeah, that baby's going down into like 92, 91. It sure did. Yeah, look at that. All these hours just knocking down. Where's the sell on this? The sell that's a buy right there. Is that a sell right there or is that the sell? I think that's the sell right there. Let's see. Let's move this up a little bit more. So, what is that? All right, so that's a sell, that's a buy. What is that? That is it's still in the buy, but that's the sell. So there's your sell right there. And then smash, poo, bang. There was a good buy right there. Drove it all the way up to there. Yeah, we're gonna have some new tools. Robin is now with the beta, and I got the beta, and it does all our same math. Not as we're trying to get colors organized better, but overall it's very clear and very clean. What do you think, Robin? Our new platform is looking really good, or what? Is that cool or is that cool? And we'll be able to provide live information for people at way lower cost than we've had to deal with before. Very low. Me likey. Me likey square. I agree. I am totally psyched about it. And anything, what else would I say, Robin? It's great, isn't it? You got them at your fingertips now. Robin has all this work now at his fingertips. I love it. I can't wait to see what I learn from Robin from it, because Robin has taught me a few lessons over the decades about my math. A few people who use it and pay it and have experience like Robin over the decades have taught me different characteristics of my own math. It's really neat. So. They see something. It's like walking into a museum and you look at a painting and you're with somebody and they see something else in the painting and you see something else that they don't see in the painting. It's like, you both have a perspective of your own. And it's the same thing. Like, Robin used to talk about too many fish in the net and then certain characteristics which would occur. And sure enough, he picked it out of the math too at the same time. And a couple of people have done that. So anyhow, we're there, Robin. We're getting there. We're like Elon Musk. We're getting ready to get up into the escape velocity out of the atmosphere. That's where we're getting ready to go. Everything will be locked down by next week, and the 3-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, and 1 hour will be a button. And that will be really cool. And then we'll try to get them to generate my math, in the sense that, not my math, my time frame in ticks or contracts. So All right, back to the euro. Unless Mountain, if you see anything else you want to look at, just shout it out, man. Just shout it out. We'll go right back to it. All right, so where did we leave off? We left off. There it is, right there. You know, the euro having its issues. Now let's go to cable. There it is, cable, cable, cable. Back into the sell again and lifting back up again. Look at that. That weekly doesn't want to let go. That's interesting. As much as we hear all the craziness and the complaints over in England and £1 billion lost this way or that way, you know, and the end result is that weekly does not want to let go. They seem to be really holding on to it. Now maybe next week they will slam this thing. I don't know. You know, no, there's not the price of the product itself slam our weekly signal. Maybe it'll give us a direction of down. But right now it's you know you can see the fast stochastic is underneath, and the slow is still like, you know, just across. So it will be interesting. All right. From there is the Swiss on a daily basis. And you can see what Mountain was talking about. That weakness right there. You know, it's down today. And you can see on the weekly right here, it's fast has been on the upside now. This is the third week. For the daily, for the slow, it's been 1 week going on. This is the second week in a weekly buy. So it's they're not letting go of this either at the same time. It just, again, it does surprise me. I keep on expecting to see a weaker dollar and a stronger pairs trades in general, but not happening here. No, it's not. All right, and then we go over to the yen again. This time we look at it in a daily. Now look at that. They got a big tail on this. It's like a hangman, right? Where it went down and now it's almost back up to where it started from. It's in a daily buy. It's been in that weekly buy. Look at the fast has been in a weekly buy since the 132 area. The slow weekly has been in a buy going into was that April 18th, the middle of that week there. And it joined in with the fast, and then you got some really explosive moves out of it. And it's been an interesting adventure there for the yen. A lot of different stories, as we've talked about throughout the week, that have been constantly perking up, and I guess you could say, or being seen, about what's going on in Japan. I keep on hearing some money managers now actually recommending to buy Japan. Now it's 25% under. Can you imagine when it was what was it down? It was 80%. When it was down 85%, trading at 8,000. So what's that? 7 times 8 is 40. 7 times 7 is 49. So I guess it was down like 78%, 77% from all-time highs. No one was out there saying buy, buy, buy. But who's making out really when you think about it? Bank of Japan itself. They've been a big buyer all the way down, and now we're only like 25% away from all-time highs. That's something that that might help out the economy there. Their central bank for sure. Because they own something like 50% of the top tier, all the Topec stocks or something like that. They own a lot of their own corporations at this point. It's like government is invested in private enterprise. All right, from there we go over to the Turkish lira right there. And you can see the Turkish lira. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday is the election again. So I guess we're going to have to go through a whole week of, waiting and seeing. And it doesn't look like there's any real problem here when it comes to the weekly. You can see that. The weekly looks like it wants to stay. The fast is even above the zero line. So, it's just flattening out in here when it comes to the Turkish lira against the euro unit or the euro. And so that's pretty much the buzz of it all. What is this? Starbucks is changing the ice they put in cool drinks? The stories that come out on the financial tape are amazing. All right. So from there, we'll go over to the cat again. And we were looking at it before in an hourly. And there's your daily. It's like a triangle, Mountain. Look at that. We got like a triangle going on there. Like that. And I guess the bigger question is, where's the triangle start? Does it start from here? Or does it start from here? So, I mean, if this is the 1, that's the 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5. And then it'll probably fall back down to this area here, like 133. Could that mean that oil is going to go higher over the summertime? Could that be the... Now, if we're looking at the triangle from here, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be the 7. And then it could break out up to here, the 38s again. Maybe that means oil's going down, not up. I don't know. Is the Canadian telling us a story in the oil market? That's the bigger question. Is it trying to warn us? I don't know. We'll keep on watching this triangle now that we're looking at it. It's kind of neat, isn't it? See, this is what's great about when you ask questions. It opens my mind to look deeper into things. So in other words, we were looking at the Canadian on an hourly basis. Now when I go and look at the daily, my mind is like, hungry to try to understand it even more because Mountain said something about it. And Mountain says something about it, then I start thinking about it more than just, if no one says anything to me, then I'm kind of like, I'm just running through it. I'm just putting the pictures up there so that you can see them, so that you can go back in the recorded side of this and take a look at it. But when you actually start a conversation on some level, just suggesting for me to look at something makes my mind open the door to start thinking about, what am I seeing there? What is it trying to tell me? In other words, it starts to open it more than me just showing you the picture. So that's why it's always nice when someone instigates me to go look at something. It opens the doorway for us to investigate it even more. Because there's so many products. It's very hard to
data connection loss.
Have that zeal or that energy on every one of them. I'm just basically
Market
running
data
and gunning,
connection
showing you
reestablished.
the picture, and then going on to the next one. Okay. From there, we go over to South African Rand. Oh, I guess what we should do is we should do this too. Look at oil over the same time period. So let's go back to that. So this is starting back in February. Let's take a look at oil back to February. See what I mean? It instigates thought and questions and ideas out of my mind. All right, so here's February. It's not really taking. I guess there's that's January. Maybe it's this here. So it doesn't have that same triangle thing at all going on. It's more of a sideways action when you look at oil. It went sideways for a while inside the envelope here. This is like an envelope right there, and then another one right here. That was like an envelope it traded in for a while, for like 4 months. Then you get that big triangle developing, and it widens the range, which is interesting. It goes down into the mid 60s, goes up into the mid 80s. It breaks the range. It breaks the range of this channel that it had been trading in for 4 months, and makes a new low here. A couple of weeks ago when I was looking for that 63 thing going on, and let's see, like that. There we are. And so now, it's not a triangle at all, which is kind of interesting. It acts totally different compared. But then, even when we contract it, and this thing always has its own wild, interesting volatility. It's well, we'll leave those lines in there for a second. Oh, here's Mountain. Mountain says the bottom of the triangle goes back to Feb. Yep, and the top goes back to the first week of March. Perfect connection of the daily closes to the current. Yeah, it is. Let's go back and look at that again. Yeah, it is interesting. And is it trying to tell us something about oil? You know, that's the bigger question in my head. What is it trying to tell us about oil? Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Is what is it trying to tell us? You know, is this the channel, in a sense, that it was trapped in some ways, and now it's, you know, when we go back to oil right there, you see oil, you know, heads down. You know, this is oil. When it loses value, Canadian goes up. And so that low there, what is that? That's 14th. And then we go, let's look at the 14th on it. Where's Mr. Mouse at? Right there. And then where's the 14th here? April 14th. Is that like up in here? Yeah. So this top in here is the same on the triangle. It's interesting. Mountain says dollar CAD and oil are not connected as much as they used to be. I agree with you. Yeah, I'd say it's about 68% of the time. Sometimes as close as 70, but yeah, I agree with you. But in some ways, because of inflation and everything else, that could be part of the reason why they're not as connected as much as they used to be. That could be literally it. I mean, the inflation has really freaked out lots of pairs trades, lots of currencies. You can see the distortion because of the inflation, you know. All right, let's go over to the South African Rand. And we'll look at we'll put gold up on there too. Where's gold? There's gold. Let's put gold up on J4X. Right there. And there's gold. It is lifting up today, but you know, it's definitely going to be closing into the weekly sell with no problem whatsoever. And then we go over and look at South African Rand. Let me save this. Save workspace. Save workspace as. I want that triangle to stick around for a while so we don't have to hunt for it again. And there's South African Rand. You can see here it has that upwardly launch, and gold is losing. You know, that's that classic. Gold goes down and South African Rand goes up and loses against the dollar. That is the norm over there, you know. And there doesn't seem to be any way of stopping that either. And the politics, you know, the because of the politics, the South African Rand should have been down like below 14, and instead it got stalled at 17. It's almost like a three handle discount going on in the South African Rand because of the politics at this point. I can't even believe that the Rand is up around 19 and gold was trading at 2,000. That is amazing. Just amazing. It's really, the currency is really taking it on the chin. And then we have our lines from that too. You can see that right there. The politics of $500,000 in cash and the whole bit, you know, that's put that country into a dilemma. And the president, like all these socialists, they just refuse to walk away. You know, instead of saying, okay, yeah, we're guilty, you know, all right, you know, I'll resign. Instead, he says, no, the hell with you. Doesn't mean a thing on breaking the law. Doesn't mean anything. No wonder they're killing people in the streets down there sometimes. It's amazing. You know, the rule of law is all upside down. All right, so that does it. That pretty much does the currencies. We can go back to them. And what we'll do is we'll go to silver now and see what silver's up to. As you see gold heading down, you see it up on the same thing on J4X. Let's go look at silver. And there's silver. Silver's trying to perk its little head up too at the same time. It's a second week in a sell. And let's put it up over here. Right there. Same thing, you know. And that is the answer to it all. Right there. You know, unfortunately, silver has found a way to fall from the 26s down into the mid-23s. Talk about, you know, disappointment. You want to talk about disappointment? Wishes? I wish the metals would react the way we see the economy reacts, the way the governments have been reacting. Unfortunately, silver and gold seem to be totally disconnected from reality. I mean, it just doesn't seem to be, you know, it's being discounted constantly. Like, don't pay attention to it. Things will get better. Don't worry. We have a bunch of Dunskies running the government, you know. We have Dunskies running the Federal Reserve. We have Dunskies running the, you know, the Ministry of Finance, or in the United States they refer to it as the Treasury. You know, honestly, we have a bunch of dumb people doing dumb things, saying dumb things out loud. That's the worst part. They say it on camera and document it. And we all shake our heads and go, I don't believe this stuff. This is unreal, you know. And the metals complex cannot get traction from it all. Canada is at all-time highs for oil production and oil exports. Well, that's good. That should help out the country. That really should help out the currency, you know. No wonder the currency, to some extent, it's in the petrol currency, you know. We've always said that. And I guess, you know, because of the diverse economy, you know, like lumbering and manufacturing and, you know, all the many things it can do, it's not just an oil nation. But when it comes for pound, for the size of the population and for the amount of oil production, it's a major oil country. There's no doubt about it. You know, it really is, yeah. And that's why we used to watch the, the loonie trade. We used to watch the Kiwi against the Canadian. That used to be very descriptive. Now it's kind of, ever since inflation and QE, really gets weirder and weirder, you know. Doesn't follow the normal patterns. All right, from there, let's go to copper. And there's copper. It's perking its head up again. There we go. Is that right? Yeah, that's 19. Yeah. So copper's it's in a buy for a couple of days, but look at the weekly. It has no interest in getting involved. That kind of, to me, that reflects a weak China. You know, instead of it trading at $5, it's trading at $3.75. You know, that just shows you the weakness of China. I mean, there's very few tools we can use to actually get real information about China. One of them is watch the copper price. If copper is not going through the roof, we know China is having problems. Let's see. Mountain says 4 to 6 million barrels per day compared to U.S. 12, right? Yeah, we're like 11 and a half, 12, something like that. I've seen estimates say that we should be at 15 now, 15 or 16, but the administration is holding our oil production down. Russia is or was at 12 million per day. Yeah, right, exactly. And same thing with Saudis. And during the Trump years, the United States was producing more than anybody else. We were the number one swing producer. But now that Mr. Biden is in there, we fell as much down to as about 10 or 11 or 9 or 10, something like that. And they're being forced to produce. They don't want, you know, the government does not want oil production, which is really weird. He sells out of the strategic reserves. Why don't he just crank up the drilling and just drill it and fill it back up that way? You know, the guy's kind of crazy. I mean, that would help out the inflation. All right, and then I heard something, and let me just say this. I heard something this morning. One of the U.S. senators said, we're not really interested in impeaching Biden because we don't want Kamala. She's even stupider than him. So, and she's on the laptop with Hunter. That's the amazing thing. She's part of the laptop. But that would be even worse, I guess, if she was put in charge. All right. From there, where is it at? From there, we go to, let's see, there's copper. Oh, let's go to platinum. Oh, and I want to save this copper too. Let's do that. So let me just save the copper. But yeah, copper is doing its thing. There we are. Now, over here, let's go to platinum right there. You can see platinum is trying to turn its head up. Nice. That's a fresh move. This morning it was down here in the lows. Now we're at the highs of the day. But it looks like the weekly is very close to becoming a weekly. Now the green line didn't break the bottom of the manifold. The fast is trying to move back up from being down below. This is going to be an interesting horse race today. We'll see what they do with that. Nah, fracking's fine. It doesn't. That's the environmentalists talking their same stuff every day. The environmentalists have been so wrong for so many decades. They're starting to destroy the theory that a broken clock is right twice a day. They are destroying the environmentalists in this country are so wrong for so many decades now, for half a century. They are so wrong since the 70s. What they've predicted has been so off course that, they've been so wrong that it makes a blind squirrel look capable. All the little cliches like a broken clock is right twice a day. Well, the length of a day for environmentalists is like a century. So we're still waiting for it to be right once out of the 100 years. Or was that just the media? Yeah, it's just spin in the media. They can't. Matter of fact, they used to call it global cooling, right? And then they changed it to global warming, and now they call it climate change. They don't know what to do. They've got things like Leonard Nimoy out there saying we're going into an ice age, for the environment, for the movement. Then they have people coming in there now saying, or did say, we're going into the Earth is heating up, and it's gonna the polar ice caps are going to melt by 1990, and then it was like by 2000, then it was like 2010, then it was like 2020. Here we are at 2023, and the polar ice caps are growing. They're not receding. So, it's like, whew. It doesn't. It's amazing how wrong they are. That's why they have to change what they're fighting all the time, so that they can look relevant. Anyhow, platinum is not having a problem looking relevant. It's trying to close in a daily buy today, and trying to fight it. And it's not going to. But unfortunately, it's not going to make it into the weekly buy. It looks like it'll probably fall in a weekly sell with gold and the rest of them. Put that line in there like that. There we are. Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. All right, let's save that. Like so. There we are. Spin, spin, spin. All right, now from there we'll go over to the energies again. And there is crude oil spot. You can see that right there. The strength. And then you can see the weekly still in a weekly sell for another week. No problem at all there. And that means it's just going sideways at this point. And then from there, let's put up Brent on J4X right there. Brent trading at 77. Texas Intermediates in the third day of a daily buy. And what do we got here in the back month? We got it's at 72.74. The front month we're at. Oh no, wait a minute. That's not the back month. We're looking at July. Yeah, September. I'm sorry, September. There it is. September is at 72.74, and the front month now is down to 72.88. So it's 12 cents now. So we're seeing that back month thing tighten up more and more and more. Keeps on finding ways to get tighter in there. Now from there, what do we got there? There's the SEP, of course. You see that's looking very firm in there, getting ready to go into a premium against the front month. And then from there we go over to Nat Gas right there. You see Nat Gas having no issues. It's going to be in a weekly buy with no problem. Look, it's been that way all week long. We've been in the weekly buy. All week long it went into it. When it jumped through the top manifold there, that was like, it's only got one direction to go, and that is up, up, and away in that beautiful, beautiful balloon. So, yeah, look at that. It's going to be with no problem there. And the daily's been in there since last week. I think it was last Friday. Yeah. So, and then Monday, I think it was literally Monday, the green line jumped through the, is it right here? Or right there? I think it was like on Tuesday. It jumped right through it. So, it's been very strong in there. Now, let's save that too, like that. Save workspace. Now, we go over to, I know where we go. Let's put it up on J4X, and then we'll go take a look at the energy company down in Spain. So there's there, trading at $2.64. $2.64, almost 65 cents. There it is, 65. 65.10, 64, $2.64, 90. There it is, 52. $2.65, 1 and 2 and 3. Now let's go over to the Espanol Energy Company, and I would guess it's going to be in the 2860s, maybe 70s, something like that. Right there. Yep, there it is, 70s. Yep, 78 offered at 85, and that's at $26.70, almost 80 cents. $26.80 versus America Natural Gas at $2.65. Like, wow. What's the malfunctioning there of a government, honestly? Talk about incompetent government. What a fiasco. Just a fiasco. That just shows bad government. Matter of fact, I saw where is it Sweden now is setting up in the parliament to be able to have a vote for Brexit. So it will be Swedex. So that they can try to pull themselves out of the European Union as leverage, because nobody seems to have any control over the European Union on what they do. You don't even vote for the president of the European Union now. They just appoint him, from within inside. It's like the ultimate of Star Chamber, It really is. Talk about the Star Chamber, and the elite running the world. The European Union doesn't even have an elected president, a leader. It is an appointed position by the parliament itself, or a cabinet inside the parliament. I don't know, something like that. It's really weird. They have no control. They can't even stop them from appointing somebody. There's no mechanics. There's no rules to stop them from appointing somebody. All right. Now from there, we slip over to, let's see, we've done that. Okay, so we've done all the energies, and you've seen where Spain is with, what is up with that? How's that moving down? Something's wrong there, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute, that's 26. That's not 28. They slammed it. Okay, good. They should be slamming this thing. I don't understand how they're not slamming it. So we were up at 28 2 days ago, and yesterday we were in the 28s, and now they've slammed this thing all the way down into the 26s. That's not 28.83, that's 26. So thank goodness. It happens. See, sometimes I don't get a chance to really stare at it close enough. Look at that. Hooray, it belongs down there. I mean, we're at $2 here in the States. That thing There it is, $2.65. This thing's trading at $26.90. What a failure of government. Total failure of government. All right, from there we'll go over to, and let's clap for that. Not a golf clap, but a happy clap. Hooray for Europe. I'm happy to see this thing go down. Finally. All right, now from there, we go over to the stock indices, and then we'll call it a weekend. Let's see. So let's go to there. And we're going to go like this on your hourly and just park that down below like so. This is Bitcoin right here. You see Bitcoin's been trying to rally from the lows of yesterday around 26,400. It's up to 26,900 now. You can see that right there. There's May Bitcoin. We went into the buy here in the 26,700 area, and it picked up a couple $100 from it. Not bad. And so, and then went into the sell here at the 27,100 area, and was like, or 200 area. What's that? 255. Went into the daily sell there and slid all the way down $800 on that sell signal. So there's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at. There's the S&Ps, and the S&Ps have been climbing now since right here is where I start calling it the Watergate years, and they've actually picked up was it something like from this 4160 area, we're trading at 42.25. So we're getting some action. We're at some of the highest points we've seen in a while, especially the Nasdaq. But I'm not really comfortable. We'll see how long this lasts. At least we went into, when we go to the daily, you'll see we've jumped into the buy. Where's it at? I would hope that we'd stay firm in here. With the DAX going after all-time highs, Tokyo only 25% away now. You know, basically it's 50 some odd percent over its all-time low. That's a pretty good way of looking at it. And there's the S&P 500. You can see it's lifting up again today, these last 2 days, since they made it very clear that they were going to sign the debt ceiling. Very clear. You know, I said then, we should be up 500 points right now. How come it's only up 150? You know, this is like the Watergate year situation problems going on. We'll see. If this, I'm expecting to see this maybe stall out in the 42, 45 to 50 area. So maybe another 25 points up. You can see it's back in. It was underneath at the beginning of the week. It's not anymore. That's for sure. You know, it's the weekly is holding up very nice. The fast is joined in. It's above the zero line compared to last week, and so that's looking pretty good. Now we go over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average right here. It's still in the weekly sell. It's doing a lot of battling and trying to clean up itself. You know, it's going to have to do some more work, but at least it's through the daily buy area for the last couple of days. It's been getting some volatility signals here, which is kind of odd, but you know, it's definitely telling us one thing, and that is that this short, you can't be in it, and at the same time, it's telling you that the longs are very tough to be long. You know, unless you're doing binaries. Oh, what's Metho say? EU president. Yeah, I like that face. I agree with it. You know, it's like, there's no control over who is the EU president. The bureaucrats choose who they want to be president. It's a real crazy situation there. And also, you know, we go to the Russell. Let's take a quick look at the Russell. Right there. The Russell is taking off also. You know, it's doing the same thing as the Dow did. A couple of days of toughness, but it's through the zero line, and it's climbed back up through the weekly. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Dow Jones Industrial Average goes throughout the next week. You know, see what kind of battle it has. So, you know, how is it all going to adjust? How is it all going to play out? The whole bit. So from there, we I guess we're going to call it a weekend. So traders, everybody have a safe and a smart weekend. We will catch you all on Monday. So, happy trails to you Until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a safe and smart weekend. We will catch you on Monday. And I guess that's all we can say is arrivederci.